turn down ceramic coating jobs all the time. Like, hey, you just need wax. You don't need ceramic coating. You just need some wax. You're not keeping the car long. You're just going to sell it.
Customer for life right there.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need no fancy dye for the trim. Just do something quick and then sell the car. Or, you know, like, I hate to say that, but that's what people do all the day.
No, then they're going to bring back the next car they buy that they plan on keeping for a long time, and then you'll ceramic coat that.
Exactly.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Born to Tint Podcast. I'm Ricky. I'm glad to be here with my big brother, Josh.
How's it going, everyone? Today we had a really fun conversation with Tim with To The T Detailing, local Las Vegas detailer, also does ceramic coating. Check it out.
That we needed to address. Just haven't addressed it only because we were working on other areas of the company. Can't address everything all at once.
Right.
So now we finally got to a point where it's like, all right, we need to address the organic pitch side of it, of like, instead of just seeing our videos where we put install videos out, you'll see the clips from the podcast. At least one clip every day is from the podcast that's coming out that week. Okay. So that's how we stayed consistent with the fact of at least putting one piece of content out. That was our first base. That was the building blocks we first laid out. It's like, all right, podcast is for content. It is literally for the clips that we can pull from it, put out those, at least one clip a day. To where, like, all right, now we at least have one. And then it's like, all right, we need some of us installing so people can see our guys install. They can see the projects we're doing.
Right.
Start doing that. And then you mix in the entertainment ones, like the viral clips and stuff like that. Jordan will come to me every once in a while. He'll send me one like, you got to do this. I'm like, I ain't doing that. You can go ahead and
nope, I'm good.
Go find someone else in the company that'll do it, which thankfully, like my flat glass manager, he will pretty much do almost any of the funny clips. Couple of my installers in auto, same thing. Like, he'll go to them. They're like, okay, I'll do it. And I got his son with, we brought him in. He worked through the summer, and there was one clip where it's like, you get the person in front, like, all right, clap your hands. And as soon as you clap the hands, it switches into was a little girl cheerleading, to where it's like, I brought him in and did that to where you'll get your guys. But the one thing we weren't doing is actually pitching our product, or what services we can do.
Exactly.
If we're going to do a special or something, hey, the next 5 people to comment this word.
Yeah, they were just more skits than anything.
Yeah. Now we're doing that. So while we were in this meeting, we were showing him a map of how many burglaries have been in the valley like the past 2 weeks, and it's
ridiculous.
Oh, it's crazy to look at it. So we looked at it. He's like, all right, hold on, give me the computer. He takes his phone. He's like, all right, you're going to do this. And like, he sat there, thought for a second. And then the first take, 40-something second clip, nailed it. And it's like, all right, he's like, go back, do that.
Right.
So I came back here. It took me like an hour and a half. And it's like, I wasn't trying to necessarily mimic every single word. I wasn't trying to memorize all the lines, but obviously still do the same cadence and the same subject and do the same kind of mannerisms. But like, it's like, I would do it, and getting past the first 3 seconds, I probably had at least 40 of those that were like, just going to talk to begin with, stumble over a word. It's like, shit, restart, go again. And then I'd get all the way through it, and then I'd forget what the next like step to it was. And it's like, go back, watch the video again, go back, do it. And then it was just back and forth. And I finally got to one, and I was like, this one's going to do. Like, I'm not sitting here any longer. It's 6 o'clock at night. Like, I'd been here for an hour past when I already told my wife I was going to be leaving to come home. And it was just like, no, that's good. And then the next day I came up with my own, and it's like, I've been trying to hit on the different aspects of our business, wall wraps, turf protection. I did one in a backyard, showing a window that would have glare hitting the grass and stuff like that. So it's like, I've been doing them. I need to get more consistent. I need to be doing one a day. I had some family come in this past weekend. So
nice. How was that?
Oh, it's fun. It's been a blast. My in-laws are staying with me. They're going to be here until Friday, which is nice. So don't get to see them that often. So it's really good. Fun
Where
to
are
have.
they from?
So Syracuse. They did live out here. They moved back to Syracuse. So me and my wife, we at least go to Syracuse once a year just to see all the family as much as we possibly can.
Right.
But they flew out for one of my wife's cousins got married this weekekend. Nice. So a lot of family was out here. So
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
But that was the one thing, is just like the talking in front of the camera, like with my phone, the hard thing I'm struggling with. It's like, as I'm talking, all of a sudden I start looking into my own eyes, and then I forget what I'm going to say. And it's like, all right, I got to just say it. And that was the hard part the first day. It's like, I kept like talking, and then I'm looking at myself, how I'm doing it. And then all of a sudden I forget what I'm about to say.
Yeah. You're just like, wait,
restart. And it's just like, damn it. But it is getting easier, and it is easier, obviously, when I'm thinking of the concept myself and not trying to completely mimic someone else. And it was, I'm getting better at it. So it's like I got to put out at least one of those a day. And then our big push is obviously we're doing that now. It's winter. Anything to drum up business in the winter for the tin industry because it is our slow season.
Right. Yep. It's that time. It's not hot anymore.
Yep.
So
we got to focus on the other aspects. Wall wraps, commercial wraps, paint protection. Like it doesn't matter how hot it is to protect your paint.
Yeah.
And then also security film. Security film usually goes really good in the winter, and then which I didn't even realize at the time because our business mentor he does real estate, he flips houses, and he was saying like winter crime is up, and I didn't even really put two and two together because that's usually his houses that he is flipping. That's usually when they get broken into and stuff like that. Someone either trying to get into somewhere where it's just have a warm place to stay, or they're looking to get into an empty house and take whatever they can that's in the house. So it's like, all right, we'll lean into that, and then just have to have a different pitch every day. So
it's like the true Grinch of Christmas.
Yeah. No. So it's been, I'm getting better at it. And it's like, I look back, even when we first started doing this, I've listened to the first couple episodes, like after the first, I think, year we were doing this. And it was just like, if I repeat that word one more time while talking in the same hour or hour and a half, I'm going to put my head through a wall.
Yup.
But then I went back and listened to other people the first time when they started doing it from the jump, and it's like, okay, no, we all sucked.
Yeah,
like
exactly. Just post it.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. See, like my thing is like I've ran into situations where like I'm recording something and the client hits me up. They're like, "Hey, are you done yet?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm just recording a video. Give me like a couple seconds, and like 15, 20 minutes, right?" And then I'm like still recording, and then they show up and like, all right, you know what? Here, I didn't finish the clip. I didn't finish what I wanted to record. I was like, you know what? Just here's a car, But it's like a time factor, especially when it comes to detail. I feel like that's the biggest thing is like a time factor for people,
Yep.
So that's like what I've ran into. At least it's interesting, but I'm like, hey, I'm just trying to make content, But then there's been a bunch of people where they're like, oh yeah, no, go ahead, and like they're all watching me and like, oh, one more take, and they always hear that one more take, But I just never put myself in the actual videos, I guess you could say.
Nah, you don't necessarily have to do that. If you're just a voice,
I think you should though.
Yeah,
do
you
it.
think so? Yeah,
do it.
Okay.
We've had a lot of people on now that have talked about how much success they've had with their business,
right?
Because they haven't been afraid to get in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And if anything, don't worry about it being perfect. Start with even just doing stories.
Yeah.
Do a quick little 15, 20 seconds talking about something you just did and just post it in your stories. And then you'll see in your stories if something gets a lot of engagement,
just boom.
Then take that and turn it into a reel. You know? Like
exactly.
You don't overthink it. Just put it out there. Let people get to know you. A lot of times they're not even buying what you do, they're buying you.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing I've been telling people recently. Like, dude, they're not buying the service, they're buying you.
Yep.
Realistically, like the way you present yourself, the way you do it, things, the way you provide the service, it's not what the service does because everybody could just wash a car.
Yep.
But it's like, how do you wash the car? How do you treat me? How do you, X, Y, Z?
Yeah.
So
your personality, and the algorithm will find those people for you.
Exactly.
The people that are more likely to engage and be stay tuned in because they like how you operate, they like how you talk, they like how you think. Those people, the algorithm will find more people like that.
Right.
And the people that aren't interested are not gonna. Yeah, they're just they're not even gonna see it.
Right. And it's like I've ran into people like, oh, you charge too much. Okay.
Yep.
All right. You know. Like, let me know when you need it fixed. Let me know.
Yep.
Realistically, it sucks to say that, but at the same time, it's like I want to educate them, but those are the type of people that don't want to learn.
Yeah, no. If they're shopping on price only, that's what they're gonna do, and there's somebody that's doing it for cheap, but that's their customer.
Oh yeah,
they want it. They want it cheap. How fast can you get it done? Can I come in right now? It's like those three things do not blend together.
Literally, right.
Get rid of the cheap, and I'll provide the first two for you.
Yeah,
it's gonna cost you. But
right before this, I had somebody call me. I was at lunch. I was like eating. And then I didn't answer because I was eating. I was like, you know what? I'm right in the middle of lunch. I'm just gonna call him right back. So I called him back, and he turned around. He's like, hey, can you get me in right now? And I'm like, whoa, wait a second. I'm like, I'm busy. He's like, well, after you're done. I'm like, sure. Might as well, but I'm the person that's like a yes man almost. Like, if you're willing to pay, you're willing to wait for it, let's do it.
Yep.
But there's times where I'm working until 2 a.m. and I'm just like, oh, You know, and then I got to wake up at 6.
Yep.
You know, it's not fun.
Yep.
You know, you can't just go right to bed after work either. And it's like, you know, one of those things like, oh, I got to wind down and then go to bed and then wake up all groggy, but you still got work to be done.
Yep.
You know, it's just part of the business, I guess.
Oh yeah. Most definitely. No, that's one thing we've gotten better at. It's the scheduling and being okay with the fact of, and I've had to kind of like help my front sales team along with that, is like, guys, we're not going to win everybody, and nor should we be. If we're winning everyone, there's something off.
Yeah,
like our offer's not right. Like we aren't going to be able to sell everyone. We're not going to be everyone's cup of tea.
Right.
Like we definitely get the same response of like, oh, you guys are double the price of everyone. We are. Like, have you come down to our shop? Come take a look where we are going to be doing your install.
Exactly.
We have an enclosed area. It's AC. Like we have carpet down. Like we invest a lot in all those things. I want my tinters as comfortable as humanly possible, and so they can put out the best possible work. We control the environment. The carpet's down to control dust. We want to make sure there's as little contamination. If not, hopefully, we're always trying to achieve perfection.
Yeah.
Can't be done, but that's what we're going to try achieving. Yeah.
Mind you, you know?
Yeah. And that's where it's like people like, do you do mobile? Nope.
Oh,
don't touch it.
You know?
No.
And like, it's crazy because I run into a lot of situations, like do a paint correction and ceramic coating on my car mobile. That's not doable. Like, sure, I can bring a buffer to you and do it, but I'm losing all my lights that I have in my shop. You know, if I run into a situation where I can't use this compound and polish on this panel because it was a repaint, well, I didn't bring the extra chemicals that I have at the shop, you know? So it's like one of those things, like there's only certain things that are mobile, you know, like same thing with you. Like, yeah, I'll go tint your house, you know, at your house. Of course, you can't bring your house to my shop, you know, but you could bring your car to my shop, and I'd rather do it at my shop because I know the quality will be there. You know, it's one of those things like people, they just want the not urgency, but more convenience, I guess you could say. And convenience is there, but the quality will be lacking, you know, and that's the biggest problem. That's when you have to educate them.
Nope, absolutely. And it's like, it is that we are kicking the idea of the fact that I think there would be certain situations where we could offer that, but then it's going to come, it's a premium service. All right. I need to know what your garage situation is like. Do you have a clean, put together garage? You might not like me asking that question, but I need a garage that actually is clean.
Send me a photo of your garage. You know, with the lights on.
And then beyond that, it's like, yeah, sure. All right. But now this is the cost of the vehicle. And then here's the mobile charge. Or you can bring it to me and this is what's going to cost. We'll come to you, but there's going to be a premium charge on there, you know?
Exactly. You know, like there was one time where I did a coating mobile, but it was one of those things like charged like an extra $500 just because I was like, hey, I'm not comfortable going. He's like, well, it's a new car. Well, new cars still need to be polished, unfortunately. You know, it's one of those things like I've seen cars on the shipping containers or the shipping trucks or trains or wherever, like how they got shipped. They get etched up by either the person that was transporting them or the dealership. And they don't look at cars the way we do. You know, I guess you could say they're like, hey, here's another $5,000. Here's another $5,000 because it's all sales, you know, and it's one of those things they don't care about that. So when you get a brand new car that you just spent $100,000 on, it's all scuffed up. Do you go to the dealership mad or, you know, but you bought the car. It's months later and now you're like, well, wait a second, you know, or weeks later, you're like, wait a second, but then the dealership claims like, oh, we didn't do it.
We do a 127-point inspection. It's like, that's cute.
Okay.
They're not looking at the paint or looking at windows too. We get it constantly where like we have our protocol when the car gets here, we go out, we take photos of the outside of it when it's out front and then gets pulled into the back. If it doesn't get pulled in instantly, it'll sit in the back. And then by the time it gets pulled in, then my guys have to wipe the windows, look over the windows, especially if it's a brand new car. You're looking for any imperfection in the glass because if you don't spot it right off the bat, and I've already told them, like we've implemented this now, it's as long as that car is underneath camera at all times, I can tell the customer like, well, we're only calling you an hour later because literally you were dropping it off. It's gonna be done at the end of the day. It sat out back to begin with. We pulled it in the back to where it was safe and secure. I have the video evidence of where the car got pulled in the back, no one touched your vehicle, and then got pulled in. And then the next step, you're going to see my guys wiping the windows down. And then now you see him pointing towards the window, pulling his phone out, snapping a photo, uploading into our program to where I can show the chain of command of where that car was at all times. And then at the exact time where that got noticed, took a picture of it, and then we started working on your vehicle, started doing all the windows in your vehicle. So that's why I'm calling you now.
Yeah, and this is when we contact you.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're calling you right now because we just spotted it. And it's a brand new car. It's like you would be surprised how much glass is scratched, scuffed up, or has metal marks in it, especially if it's coming from like CarMax, because CarMax, at least they used to, I don't know if they still do, but they put the metal boxes on the window.
Scratch the living hell out of the windows. I've had multiple people reach out, hey, can you buff this out? We can try. I've tried it because I was like, hey, I don't know. Let's find out. I spent hours buffing glass because glass is not easy to remove scratches, let alone deep ones.
Yep.
And I was like, hey, after 6 hours of buffing this single piece of glass, no, you cannot fix it. Like I didn't have the proper equipment. Like there's sanding things you could buy for glass. We're talking thousands of dollars for equipment, but it's doable. But just buy a new piece of glass.
Because it's still going to warp the glass too. If depending on how deep the scratch is, you're still going to see.
And they go deep with the CarMax ones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah,
unfortunately, but that's what they do. Just like, oh yeah, no, it doesn't damage the glass. Well, yeah, it does. Yes, it does.
Without a doubt.
So
without a doubt,
it happens.
So how long have you been in the industry?
Well, realistically, full time. I mean, about 3.5 years.
Okay.
Part time. I mean, I was doing it as a side hustle. I'd say it's all like 8 to 9 years, because like I was always told like, hey, just keep it under the table, like da da da. That was the worst advice I could have ever got, and it was one of those things I was like, why was I told this so many times by different people? But it was one of those things like back in the day, like, hey, just keep it on the table, cool. It never benefited me at all, and it was one of those things that kind of like almost put a detriment, almost, I guess you could say, into the business. But it was at the same time like it is what it is. But I started detailing when I was 16. So back in 2014, I got my license, and the tint shop that I was actually starting to work at, they were like, hey, you need your car clean. Because like back in the day, I mean, still to the present day, but people don't take it as seriously, is presentation is key. Everything about presentation is key, right? But like this guy was like, hey, you can't come to work if your vehicle's dirty. And I'm like, huh? Like, what do you mean? But it was one of those things like, hey, keep it clean. And he had a guy, it was like Shine Mobile or something. But back in the day, it was like $40 for a mid-sized truck, but he would put Shine on everything, the steering wheel, the gas pedal, the brake pedal, the emergency brake, the floor mats, like everything. So like, it was just a slip inside almost, and I was like, no, I'm just going to start doing it myself. And then it turned to the point where it's like, hey, who's detailing your vehicle? Like, oh, me, and then I was doing vehicles for free at one point because I was like, it's fun. Like
repetitions too.
Yeah, I had a job that I enjoyed, and then I was like, you know what? Might as well just do this on the side, have fun with it. And then someone's like, you can make money. I was like, washing cars? Yeah, okay. Like it's one of those things. Like, yeah, all right. Like I'm gonna make money. Okay. And it turned into like, okay, I'll charge you $20 inside and out. I'd spend like 6 hours on the car for whatever reason, but it was like my day off. I'd have fun getting in every single little crack, like stuff you couldn't even see, look at, even look.
But you saw it.
But I seen it, and it was one of those things. I was like, whatever. And it just turned into one of those things. I was like, wait a second, like, because then I left the tint shop for a while, and like I was like, hey, let me like try to do my own thing, And I ended up going back to it, but it was one of those things. Like I was like, let me get into detailing, like might as well. So I started like a little side business. It was like going for a couple of years. It was actually funny because it used to be called Raw Details, and I thought it was super cool. I was like, raw, like I'm young. I'm like, oh yeah, raw, so cool, Well, I had an older client. He ended up coming down, and like, we were talking in my driveway because I did it out of my garage. And we're talking, and he was like, hey, I have a question for you. And I'm like, shoot, what's the question? What's the meaning behind your business name? Like Raw Details, like, is it like raw meat or like, I was like, oh, fuck, like this doesn't apply to everybody. I'm like this young kid that doesn't know what he's doing. He's just doing whatever. Like, oh, Raw Details sounded cool. Like, let's do it. And then it turned into one of those things. I was like, oh, wait a second. This needs to apply to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like it took me probably weeks to figure out like the new name. Like back in 2019 is when To The T became a thing, I guess you could say. But I was like, what is a different name? And I looked across the whole internet, like once like To The T stuck, I was like, let me try to find it. Anybody else that had To The T or To What T or, you know, anything along those lines? Nothing. And I was like, all right, cool, let's run it. And then we did it. And then it was funny, like once COVID hit, like I was about to open full time, you know, and then COVID hit. And I was like, oh, okay, never mind. Like, all right, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, you know, my mom has like immune disease, I guess you could say. So it's one of those things like, even if I wanted to offer detailing, cleaning COVID, disinfecting COVID, and back in the time, everybody was offering steam cleaning, and people were paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars to disinfect their interiors. Well, fun fact of the day, you have to use steam on a surface for like 16 or like 20 seconds or something like that. Basically a long period of time to disinfect that surface with steam. Well, with plastics on the interiors, it would actually damage the interior. So nobody was disinfecting anything. It was just one of those things like, hey, yeah, we could do this and da-da-da-da. And then this company came out with a disinfectant that killed COVID. And then, you know, it was more of a disinfecting cleaner that was safe for product. But it was like one of those things I just wanted to stay away from altogether because of my mom. And I was like, you know, it is what it is. That's like, so essentially I went right back to that tint shop once COVID happened. Because he was still working. I'm like, we're tinting cars, it's COVID, but people had money. They just wanted to spend it, you know, and it blew my mind. But it's one of those things, I just got into it, you know.
21 and 20, or the tail end of 2020 and then 21, 22, it was like summertime for us the entire year.
Yep.
It was crazy how busy we got. And yeah, we were deemed essential because our business license is technically under automotive repair.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, well, you're essential. And I was like, are we? But I mean, I'm going to take it and run with it.
Exactly. And that's where I was at with the detailing. Like I was about to open it up and then like detailing was essential. And it was one of those things like I could clean, but I was like, no, I'm just not going to take the risk. Like it's not worth the life. You know what I'm saying?
You know, like, especially to begin with too. No one, I mean,
no one knew.
Yeah, we shut down pretty much.
Sketch.
Yeah, we shut down to like we were only open 3 days a week. We were only taking in our clientele that like we had accounts, like we were doing Clark County at the time, and they had a bunch of cars for us to tint. So we were bringing those in. Then we set up a whole e-commerce site to where everyone was purchasing, prepaying to begin with, and then our only point of contact was then literally coming in, throwing keys at us. And you want this color, you want this shade, okay, perfect. Be done by the end of the day. And they're like, today, tomorrow, whatever. And, you know, it worked out. And then as it got further along, then we put certain things in place.
Wait a second.
We started putting things in place. And like even houses, we were doing security because the security film on houses was a very big thing. Because everyone was scared shitless.
Nonstop.
Yeah. So it was
just waiting for the purge to happen. No, literally like that. That's pretty much what people's mindsets were like. What's going to happen next? You know, it's mind boggling.
Yep. No, looking back at it now and for us too, with the time, even when the days that we weren't opening, we were still, cause we just expanded into that bay over there.
Okay.
And the contractor we hired, he finished about 95% of the
and
job.
The back over here too.
Yeah, just two. He's finished.
So you only had one, now you have three.
What?
Base.
Oh, we have three. Yeah, well, we had 3.5 because this whole front shell we actually left empty and we leased it out for about 3 years. And then when that guy ended his lease, we were at the point. It's like we needed the space, and then we had the idea of doing the academy, and then also the podcast came to fruition. It's like perfect. We can make the academy, move the podcast in house, and we can do everything from in here. So we took over this, and now it's 4 bays completely. Nice. But yeah, like so with the extra time that we did have that we weren't necessarily installing those days, we were coming down. We had to finish putting the carpet tiles down. We ended up ripping the carpet tiles out of the other bays, redid those bays where it's like, so we started working on our shop, and then we started working on protocols, integrated a new CRM. We went full force with TintWiz and using the inventory and everything to where it's like, all right, like, you know, obviously if we're not going to be open, we'll be open enough to still pay bills, pay people. But beyond that, the extra days, we're still going to come in and we're going to work on the shop and use this time wisely to work on the business. because we never had time like that before.
Exactly.
You know, you're always trying to get
working around the clock.
You're always trying to get something done. There's always a job that pops up. It's like, oh, I have this time. Then all of a sudden that big project comes through. And it's like, well, that's going to wait. We're going to go get this project done real quick, you know?
Yep.
So we finally had the time to work on ourselves. And thankfully I would say we used the time to the best of its abilities. Probably still could have done a little bit more, but for what we were going through at the time, we were able to.
I think we were pretty good
going.
back then. We were even coming in at like 3 and 4 in the morning to like do the tiles and shit.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Good times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was fun.
Oh yeah.
Brought my kids down to help put everything in the inventory and tint
Right.
was. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. No, it was, crazy times. That's for certainty.
Yeah. No
The,
kidding.
the uncertainty of everything. And I mean, to be honest, if it wasn't for my dad's the one who kept the doors open, like no matter what. It was like we were trying to make a push to like, hey, let's close for like 2 weeks. We'll figure out what's going on. You know, there's gonna be relief and all this. And my parents, thankfully, because they've been in business so long, they're like, yeah, we've heard this shit before. No, we're not closing our doors.
Yeah.
We're keeping the doors open. We're gonna keep working. Like my dad was on the phone with the governor's office the next day after the shutdown got implemented, and it was pretty much to verify like. We can keep tinting cars because where our business license fell, and then also wanted to make sure that we could keep tinting houses. And they're like, well, technically, if you're doing security film, that's security.
Even solar.
Well,
any home improvement was okay.
That was the next thing. They're like, yeah, you are technically improving a home that is still allowable. And then as people started getting money, it's like everybody and their mothers, like all the projects they wanted to get done, they started getting done. Yeah. And we were very blessed that happened because we stayed stupid busy. And then we started running into supply chain issues.
That was fun.
Yeah. Well, thankfully, my dad had already built us to the point where my dad had a problem with every time we'd make a purchase or an order, he would always like, all right, hey, I'm going to order. What if I order this much? And he'd bulk order to get a bulk discount.
Right.
And we were trying to kind of get away from that. And we were to a point, but thankfully we were already built into it to the fact that when we were able to purchase the material from our manufacturers, we were part of the problem. Is all of a sudden something would come into stock and we had the working capital to where like we stocked our shelves, because as soon as we saw the writing on the wall where it's like our rep reached out to us and said, hey, this is coming back online right now, but I'm telling you right now, as soon as it hits, it's going to, everyone's asking for it. It's going to deplete out instantly. Get what you think you're going to need. So where we went back to like heavy bulk ordering because we had to stock our shelves because we were so busy. And then it would be like, even for like tools, like blades and scrapers and stuff, like all of a sudden when we get Triumph blades, what we use to clean flat glass windows, they'd come into stock and then we'd buy like 30 packs of them. And then all of a sudden, like they'd be like, it's on back order now. And it's like, I felt bad because like any of the small shops, like they're just trying to make ends meet and like purchase what they can. But then you have the bigger shops there. It's like, like we're booked 4 weeks out. I have to have these things. If I run out of this, we're screwed. To where it's like we would put an order together, be like, all right, let's add 2 of everything on top of this.
Yeah, and you can't reuse
just in
those.
case. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not one of those things you could reuse and
Oh,
just be like,
definitely not.
yeah, okay, it's good enough.
Yeah,
no,
no.
you scratch the glass.
You're
like,
done.
You know, I've had my fair share in tint, so I'm like, yeah, I know kind of how that goes. Like,
Oh yeah.
there's a lot of corners you cannot cut. Like, no matter what you want to do, you cannot cut those corners. You know.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely a big proponent with all my guys blade wise. I'm like, if you feel like the blade isn't cleaning as good as it was, I don't care if you just used it to say if we're doing a removal. If like you get a couple scrapes in and you don't feel like it's removing, like the blade's dull now.
Yeah.
Flip it. Like I'd rather you burn through some extra blades and then accidentally scratch this glass.
Yeah.
It's gonna be much cheaper than me replacing this window on a car or replacing this window on this house.
Little port window, like $700. You're like, yeah, okay.
That's what people don't realize too, is that the smaller windows are always usually the most expensive ones. Like everyone on their trucks, usually people with trucks, they'll break a back if they have a sliding back window. They'll break
the back.
let me break one window. It's smaller than my doors. It's like, dude, you just broke the most expensive window.
Just break the driver window.
Yep.
Just break the driver window.
Way less
You
expensive.
know, or just buy the little airbag thing that gets your door unlocked. Like,
Yep.
And
No, thankfully I can rely on my if we have, unfortunately. Usually rule of thumb is you don't shut the doors on the car unless you located the key and the key's sitting on the windshield, or if it's sitting on top of the moonroof or sunroof if it has one. But we've definitely have accidentally locked some keys in the car.
100%, unfortunately.
Yeah. Thankfully my uncle, he has he runs a shop in the back, mechanic, and he has everything to break into cars. So it's like as soon as that happens, I go back to him. He grabs his Slim Jim, grabs his little airbag set first. He'll try to pop it. If it's old enough car, he'll try to pop it real quick. If he can't, throw the airbag in, reach in, click. All right, we're in.
Like, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't really happen anymore though. Because
well, with the systems in place,
yeah.
you're good.
Yeah.
You know?
Tinters don't even realize how lucky they have it now. Oh, that was all the old cars. Those are the ones you got to worry about. New cars, it's like you have to find a way. People are like, just lock the key in the car. It's like your car won't let me. I've tried, and there are some workarounds to that, but it's like I can't lock the key in the car. All right, just put it on the back tire. I'm like, are you sure? And they're like, yeah, I'll be there. I'm like, okay.
All right. Yeah.
Like we have cameras, so if something does happen, we'll at least be able to tell you which direction it went in.
Exactly. Like there's been times where like we do like an exchange, like I leave my keys somewhere or like the client's keys somewhere, and they're like, all right, cool. And I'm like, I don't feel comfortable doing that, but if that's what you want, you know. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah. It is what it is. Like there is cameras, but so that feeling, you're just like, no, I don't want to, like, no.
That's where Teslas are nice.
Yeah.
I locked the Tesla key in the car, and I was like, oh no. But then I just reached out to the client. He's like, oh yeah, let me just unlock the key.
Just get on my app real quick.
Yeah, let me just boop, 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 and then unlock.
Pop the door.
Yep.
No, we had a customer recently. He was set to drop his car off, I think the night before. And I saw the message when he hit, all of a sudden I saw cancel come through on our app, and I clicked on it. I read the message, and it's like, I read it, I think like a half hour after he hit it. And it's like, if I would have been able to call him as soon as he canceled, I probably could have gotten to leave his truck. But he's like, yeah, went up to the drop block, saw it's been tampered with. And it's like, if I could have called him like, no, we did that with a crowbar so you could fit the key fobs in. That was us tampering with our box. Like, it's good. There's cameras everywhere. No one's tampered with that. But it's like, I saw it come through, and he's like, yeah, it looked like someone tampered with the box. So just didn't feel comfortable, which I completely understand. Yeah, 100%. But it's like, I can't fit that key fob in if that hole isn't that big, unfortunately. Maybe we could have done a little prettier, and we probably should replace the box to where it's a little bit better presentation. Because when you're looking at it, it's fine. But as soon as you lift the top, you realize it looks like someone's pried on it. And it's like, that was us.
Like, oh, wait a second.
Yeah. You probably get a new fancier one that has like a code, a temporary code that they can open and put it in a box.
I've seen those. I've seen those. No, we were gonna get one during COVID, because that was the one thing of like, hey, we'll drop your car off, we'll leave it out front, then you have a key box to where it's like, we're going to give you the code, it's in this box, just go ahead and put the code on. The code switches constantly. I see the ads come by on my social media feeds constantly.
I've seen those. Yeah I was thinking about grabbing the same thing. I was like, do I, like, you know?
Yeah,
it's one of those things.
It's one of those presentation things, though. I think it's probably worth it just because it's so nice.
Believe me, the guy canceling for that reason. It's like, I've never even thought about it in that instance, because no one's ever said anything. It's never been an issue, and it's just like, damn, dude, we just made that comfortable.
The time it's an issue.
Yep, we made the guy uncomfortable and thinking that his car wasn't safe, because instantly it's beyond it looking bent. Then obviously he thinks that, all right, this isn't necessarily a bad part of town, but it's not the best part of Henderson. So it's like, in his eyes, like, he's like, damn, this is being screwed with. Like, dude, I don't feel comfortable leaving my car here overnight. Out front. So it's like, no, because if it was like in the morning, I could see him going, like, dropping it in there, and it's like, all right, they open up in an hour and a half, like, all right, it's gonna be fine. But like through the night, I get the concern. It sucks to think that we made our customer like feel like, oh, you're not gonna be comfortable leaving your car down in front of our shop. Like, we have, like, there's a bunch of bad stuff that happens down here, which nothing happens down here ever. So
you're right down the street from the freaking Henderson Police Department. You know? Like, Henderson, they have like the Henderson police. I feel like there's like nothing really going on this side of town. So when something happens, they're like, boom. Yeah. Like, they're right there, you know?
Yeah, they're definitely right on it.
No,
shout out to them.
No, yeah. So there's not really much going on in Henderson.
Metro's like, they have the whole Summerlin, Las Vegas, North, you know, like, well, not North Las Vegas, but they have a way more broader area to cover, you know?
Yeah, no, those are usually the fun conversations whenever we do have a cop come through who's getting his car tinted. Like, I'll usually shoot the shit with them, ask them what their thoughts are on tint, and just like when it comes to darkness and stuff like that. Almost every Metro cop has the same reply: I don't write tint tickets unless you force me to, because you're being a dick to me.
Well, it's hot out here. Like, there was a detective, a couple detectives. Like, they were both detectives. They came in. I'm at the tint shop, and they were like, "Hey, can we get double limo?" And they're like, "You paying cash at least? Like, we can't do that. That's like not legal, you know." But it was one of those things like, here you go, like, here's my badge, and we're like, oh, like, you're a detective and you want double limo and 35 and 50 on your windshield? That's crazy. But I mean, it's hot out here. So
we've gotten that a lot over the years.
Oh, it's brutal.
Yeah, no, we even have recently, we had a guy that was trying to
trying to get us to go darker than 70 because that's one thing I won't do on
Yeah,
windshields.
we won't go dark on the windshield for nobody.
And he's like, I'm a cop. I'm like, that's nice. I was like, I just don't do it. If I don't offer it or allow any leniency to any of my customers, I'm not going to just kind of bend it and skirt it just because you're a cop. Like I get it, but at least for me, I'm comfortable putting 70 on windshields because at least we have medical exemptions for 70 on windshields. So there is something there to where it's like I tell every single one of my customers that wants to do it, like, hey, best possible thing for you to do. Next step is go to this link, fill this piece of paperwork out. It's from the DMV. Go to your general practitioner, and you have a hard time seeing during the day because it's so bright. You know, like, and then they're gonna sign off on it, and you're good. Now you can go darker on your front doors. You can go darker. You can put 70 on your windshield, and you're completely fine. But like every cop I've talked to has said the same thing. Like, I have better things to do than worry about your tint. Like, just don't like. Henderson's gotten a little bit more tighter. Like if the tint registers in the single digit, they've been getting pushed lately more to like if you have anything below 10%, like, I gotta write you the ticket. Yeah. If it's above 10 and like
really,
yeah.
I mean,
Metro doesn't give two. I mean, Metro does not care.
Knock on wood, but I've definitely been pulled over with like I usually run like 5 and 15 on my windshield, or not my windshield, but the side windows. And that's just dark. Like, you know, at night, if the road's not well lit, I'm rolling my windows down. But it's one of those things, like, that's my preference. I do a lot of driving in the day. I realistically like to be cool in the summer. Like, I have to turn my air down in the summer. Yeah. Like, that's not normally something you say, but that's what I have to do. So I'm like, all right, cool. You know, but I like the darker tint, you know, and privacy.
Yeah. Well, and the crazy thing is the whole argument why they ever even made it illegal was for like officer safety, but like what's the first thing you're supposed to do when you get pulled over? Roll your windows down. Yeah. Right. So it's like
it's not a law, but I mean realistically common sense. Like, hey, roll all your windows down.
Yeah, I mean, but if you're traveling and you're not participating in commercial events and you're not doing things, it's against your rights, Josh. You see sovereign citizen.
Yeah, come on.
Okay. Those are the best videos in the world. Unfortunately, my feed's been plagued with them.
But those are people that
watch those, and it's too damn funny. Well, why'd you pull me over? You're speeding. That's why I'm asking for your ID. But I'm traveling. Like, oh my God, this hurts my brain so much. It's like, just take your speeding ticket.
That's what I'm saying, though. It's like, if you want a problem, you can create one. But if you don't want a problem, just roll your damn window down.
My biggest thing is, like, not only did I work at a tint shop and we like dealt with like the tint tickets and stuff, like the fix-it tickets, but like it was one of those things. Like, I know a lot of cops, so it was like one of those things. Like, they told me, hey, be respectful. Yep. You know, I was told to have everything ready, but there was one time I got pulled over where they're like, oh, you've been pulled over quite a few times, huh? And I was like, no, I was just told to have everything ready for you, sir. Like, I'm sorry, you know. But it was one of those things. I was like, you know, it was one of those.
They started meowing at you.
Yeah, and I was like, you know, wait a second. But it was like cool because like that time he let me off with a warning, you know, and I was like, all right, cool, you know.
Majority, that's what they've all said is like, as long as you're cool, I don't care. But as soon as you start, as soon as you start being disrespectful, I'm going to find everything on your car to write tickets. Like, I got better things to do. There are other crimes I have to go worry about. I do not care about your tint unless you make it. I've had one person, or I've had one customer who came in that I can think of, maybe two, that came in that had to get their doors removed because they got a tint ticket, and it's like it was the only reason why they got pulled over was tint, but. The context to it was 2 a.m. It was on Water Street. It was a 2-door Honda Civic slammed to the ground and 5% all the way around. And he got pulled over just like the cop U-turned just for tint. It's like, well, first off, it's 5 a.m. You're in a bright red car. It's a 2-door Civic.
If it was red, you're getting pulled over.
Yeah. It's like you had everything against you, unfortunately. And your tint is, and that's one thing I'll warn customers about too. It's like, if you are going to, this is the legal limit. This is what you technically should have on there. This is what your options are. You tell me what you want to do. We'll go ahead and get it taken care of for you. But I am going to let you know, if you give a reason for the cop to pull you over, you just gave him the easy reason to pull you over. Is if he feels like your tint is too dark, he doesn't have to have any other reason to pull you over.
Yeah,
like
it could be just tint.
It could be just tint. You're giving them a reason to pull you over. Especially even like, we'll have people that want to do, I want to do my glare strip. And it's like, well, how far down? They're like, point to the middle of their windshield. I'm like, that's pretty much tinting your windshield, and that's going to stick out 10 times more than anything else. What cops are looking for when it comes to glare strips is if cars are coming at them and they can look over and they can differentiate your car from everyone else's, probable cause. They're pulling you over. And they're going to make you prove them wrong in the court of law. And that's just that is what it is.
Yeah, my biggest thing is I just do 2 big strips. Like, I mean, I like the darkness realistically. Like even at like, so a lot of driving in the evening or in the morning, depending on which direction you're going. That is the worst time of driving. If you have a strip, actually, I recommend 2. But if you have 2 strips, you don't have no glare at all. There's no glare. Like I can see everything.
You talking about one on the bottom or 2 on the top?
2 on the top. Layers. So you stack them and you have them like a little like millimeter or 2
extra dark.
It actually kind of looks cool because it has like a little lip. You know, it's one of those things that just looks good, and then it gives that extra darkness, I guess you could say, for the sun. You know?
No, that's where I try to tell people to put glare strips on. It's like, oh, okay, it's going to be ceramic. I'm like, you don't want to pay that. Like, I was like, that's going to be $150.
Yeah, I'm about to say you go from 50 to 150, maybe even $200 for a strip. Like, you know,
if some people, they're so hard up on the fact that they want to go, they're already putting our 3M product on. So the one 3M product that we do carry is crystalline. It's one of the best heat rejecting films for what it's created for. It doesn't go dark, but heat rejection wise, it's upwards of 60% total solar heat rejection, and infrared is like 97 to 99. So for what it's created for, it's amazing. But then they're like, oh, I want to put that on my glare strip. I'm like, no, you don't. Because that's $250 for that glare strip. Yeah. And the only point of that strip is to reduce glare. You want to go as dark as possible. It's not there for heat rejection. Don't think it's going to do much. I mean, sure, it might keep a little out, but you're only covering a portion of your windshield. Yeah. We always recommend our premium dyed film. It's 5%. It's the darkest film we carry. And it is going to sit, because they're like, I want to go super low. I'm like, all right, now consider this. When you're sitting in your car, if it's low, it's going to be right in the middle of your line of sight. You are not going to be happy if you're constantly looking up and down through a cut windshield. You want it just high enough to where it's right above your eyesight, but if you need it, tilt your head up, glares off your eyes.
Exactly.
You know, and then people think, they hear that and like, that's a good point. I'm like, dude, glare strips are a love-hate relationship. You either love them or you absolutely hate them.
Yeah, I still don't use them. And I don't even go dark on my sides anymore. I just go legal. With ceramic, the heat rejection is basically the same. So it's like, I don't want to deal with not being able to see out at night. Yeah. And I don't care about it looking
20% is the darkest I go.
Yeah. So I know you know him over at Kevin over at Got Tint. Yeah. So that was the tint shop I was working at, like on and off or everything like that. But what you call it? Like I've been trying to get 2 strips on my van, you know, because I'm like, hey, like I want the strips. You know, he's like, they're not going to look good because of the curvature of the glass. You know, it's one of those things like you could put it on, but it's going to be super curved and it's not going to look right. But I drive Silverado. Like I like, you know, my Silverado. But it's one of those things like, hey, the strips on those, perfect, you know, all day long. But like when you get a Jeep, you don't want a strip. Like there's not even a windshield to have.
Oh, the strip on a Jeep legally is like that.
Like don't even bother. Yeah. Just tint your whole windshield and be done with it. Yeah. You know,
because a lot of those too. That's again like it comes down to if most cops think it's the law states that you can only cover a certain portion, or it's AS1 line, which
AS1 line. Yeah.
Our law's not AS1.
No.
Oh, it's the.
Isn't it like 4 inches from the headrest or something?
No, it's
like really weird.
It's like 11 or 10 inches.
It's way too in depth for what it is. They made it way harder than it needs to be. So law actually states. And the only reason I know this is we had a customer who had a Chevy HHR, so it looks like one of those milk vans.
Yeah.
We put a strip on his, and it was because those are small windshields too. And it was probably about 4.5, 5 inches. He kept getting pulled over by this one cop. First cop pulls him over, tells him that it's illegal. He goes, it's not. This dude found the law, and he brought it in because like we went, he got it removed, got it put back on, and then the cop pulled him over, and then he actually took the guy to court, won in court, and the guy pulled him over again and wrote him a ticket again. And he came in, he's like, dude, just take it off. Like I can't keep dealing with this. This is wasting my time. This guy is unrelenting. I don't want to deal with it. We took it off, but he brought the actual code in for me. What the law is. It's the vehicle on a flat, even surface with the driver's seat farthest back at its lowest position, at the lowest part of the back of the seat, 29 inches up and straight out. That's how low you can go, which in some vehicles is actually pretty damn low.
I was about to say that could be the whole windshield on some vehicles.
So it was like he showed me. I was like, that's not the line. He brought it in and showed it to me because he already went to court and took the guy and went and met the guy in court, won, and like he brought it in and highlighted it for me. I'm like, no way they put that much thought and made it that hard for a windshield for a glare strip. And it's like, it is 29 inches straight out. That's the law.
I almost want to say that I think it's a Honda CR-V. I think those lay completely flat. Like they like lay into the back seat. I'm over here like that's like maybe that much of your windshield not covered.
Well, from the lowest part of the seat sitting upright. So from the base of the bottom of the seat.
Yeah.
Pops straight. But yeah, but now with all the like, even like my Highlander, I can actually drop the bass of that thing pretty damn low to where it's like, why did you guys come up with a law and make it this intricate? It's like the craziest thing in the world, because still a lot of cops will say it's AS1.
Written before seats were as adjustable as they are, and
that's true. Yeah, because what law changed in '92 for tint, so it's been some time. Because that's when they went from it was 13 or 15% on front doors, and they changed it to 32 and 92.
94.
94? Oh, yeah, 94. That's what made when I had my 92 pickup, I put 13% on it, and that's one of those things where technically you can. If you have anything older than 94, you can put 13 all the way around and get away with it in the fact of
you can just say it was tinted before the law changed.
Yep.
So for in the 90s there, we would go with that all the time. Right. Like, oh, your car is older than a 94, you can go this dark and you're not going to have a problem.
Right.
And just say it's been tinted since before 94.
Exactly.
I bought the car like this. It was originally tinted when it was first built. But
now that's not going to be as believable because most film's not going to last that long on a car.
No tint that lasts that long.
No, usually not.
But how are they going to prove that?
Well, that's always the hardest part.
It was garage cab.
No. Yeah.
No. So yeah, but so there's always been slight workarounds, even when it comes to the tint meters themselves. I've heard people claim, which the police departments have gotten better in the fact of the training on the meter, because I've heard people say you can fight the tint ticket easily if you go in. All right, what tool do they use? When was the last time it was calibrated? When did they actually get trained on it? How do I know they're using it properly? And all that. But I have been now seeing more videos where they're actually getting the kits for those machines are actually coming with calibration pieces. And now they've gotten even further in depth where they can show, all right, it was calibrated on this day. Yeah. I was trained at this time to use it. And here are all the test pieces in it registering perfectly while I calibrated it myself. And it's like, so it's a lot harder, I'd say, try to find the workarounds. But they were there, but it's gotten a lot harder now.
My workarounds just, hey, I could take the tint off right now, officer. Right now, I'll take it off right now.
Always have a straight edge.
Yeah.
Like, if you give me the permission, I'll just take it off right now. Son, take it off. Be done with it.
This reminded me of a funny story from my dad that he's always told. When he was still in California, when he first started, he always had show trucks that he'd go to car shows and stuff.
Yeah.
And he had a black Nissan that had like 412s in the bed of the truck, like ported into the cab. And he had tinted the windshield limo to drive to a car show. And got pulled over, and literally as he's getting pulled over, he ripped it off and threw the film in the back.
I didn't have any tint on my windshield, officer.
What are you talking about?
You must have been seeing things, sir. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Well, now it's much harder because now when you pass a cop, they have so many cameras around capturing 100%. Everything at all times. So, but yeah, there's always
even that windshield tint's a lot more expensive now. I feel like than back in the day.
Oh, it's not even close.
I think $100 for a windshield.
Yeah, that was about to go in, right? We used to put 50% on because we had a metallized film that actually held out enough heat to make us comfortable with selling the product and not thinking that we're selling fool's gold.
Yeah.
Because they had non-metallized products back then, but they were nowhere near what they are now.
No good at all.
Yeah. And then it was around 07. That's when the ceramic, like the nano ceramic films actually first came out. And like for Solar Guard, their first nano ceramic film was called Ultra Performance. And when they released it, I remember going to SEMA, and our rep, or I think it was our rep's boss, pulled us into one of the back rooms, and he goes, "What do you think about this?" He pulled the roll out, and he ended up giving us the roll to test out, and it was Ultra Performance 75, and they were like, "Try this stuff out," and they only made it in 75. So their angle was, we are trying to get the market of people that hate dark films but need heat rejection.
Right.
That, hey, I don't want to change the look of my
vehicle. And it's signal friendly because back then you'd still have issues with metallized film and the antennas in the back window. But it was mainly AM radios what would cut out. Yeah. It's like, who's listening to AM radio?
It was very few and far between. Even now, you could probably put metallized films on most vehicles right now.
And they're fine.
And they're fine. So the antennas are usually on the roof now. They've placed them in other areas where it doesn't matter. But if you want to completely make sure that you're not messing with any of the signals, because if a signal does get messed up, and if you go back to the dealership, they are going to ask, what's on your windows? Yep. And if it's a metallized product, they instantly pin it on the tinner.
Exactly.
Let's say, take the film off and then see if it's still doing it, and then we'll intervene. Otherwise,
at a point in time, there was an issue with the tire pressure sensors. Yep. Just with the it was Suntech HP, and it was like one of those things you're like, how is that affecting it? But it's one of those things from the computer to the thing. There was a window in between, and it stopped the communication.
Yep. Oh, that's crazy. I didn't even hear that one.
No,
what's funny is even ceramic was kind of a rebrand. The first time they really came out with it, they just didn't call it ceramic. It was titanium. Because ceramic is titanium nitride. So they came out with titanium in the 90s, but they didn't have a marketing plan behind why is this more expensive and why should I pay for it?
Okay, it wasn't crap. It failed.
It didn't shrink very well.
It didn't shrink well, and it failed quickly.
Yeah, but so that when they finally did have successful launches of ceramic in the early 2000s, it was really kind of the second iteration with a better marketing strategy behind it.
Exactly.
Started off light, targeted windshields, and then all of a sudden the darker films came in, and then it was off to the races. And
Right.
And now it's, is it carbon? Well, it's this one's carbon, this one's ceramic. And it's like, oh my God, like we
nano-carbon ceramic. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, even with that, carbon just means that it's an organic dye. Like,
that's what I mean. Like the carbon was not
calling it carbon is just like
sales.
It sounds good.
Sales technique. Yeah. It's a way from going from your first dye film to a better dye film, and then to the ceramic at the top. To where, for us, we have a standard dye film that we offer, because some people just want the windows dark.
Yep.
It's a lease. I don't care. So we definitely obviously cater, and we will install that. But then from there, we jump straight into our ceramic films. And then from our Zenith, which is Solar Guard's technical top tier ceramic, then we have the crystalline, and the big jump for crystalline is for windshields. Right. Because that for windshields, that's one of the best films on the market when it comes to windshields. 50% heat rejection, 97% IR heat rejection, which for me, I always disclose what the total solar heat rejection is, because it bugs the hell out of me when I hear people talk about heat rejection. It's like, it's got 97% heat rejection. It's like, all right, continue that sentence. 97% infrared. All right. So what's the actual full heat rejection on the whole spectrum? Because I'm not just worrying about infrared. You still got visible light. You still have all these different aspects of heat rejection that are there that shops will completely avoid just because it sounds cooler to say 97% heat rejection or 91% heat rejection.
Exactly.
I get on my people up front, where if I hear them on a sales call and they only nail, it doesn't happen anymore because it happened once or twice, and then I shut it down. Like, I don't ever want to hear you guys only selling infrared. It is misleading. You're not lying to the customer, but you're not telling them the whole story. And I don't like that. And
exactly.
When they call around, yes, we're going to be more expensive, but when you actually sit there and take the time to educate them on what the film is actually able to do and paint the whole picture for them, when they call the next person and they're like, oh yeah, it's 95% heat rejection, and they stop there, some people are going to go, all right, I appreciate it. Click, call us back and be okay with, all right, you're $200 more, but you actually helped me understand the film and explain what the film can and can't do for me. And that's how we're going to, that's the extra customer service that we provide, is I'm going to tell you the whole story.
Right.
That's
the biggest thing.
Yeah. I just saw someone post on Facebook talking about a flat glass film, and they were just mentioning the infrared heat rejection. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It makes zero sense.
Well, that's where it gets even more complicated, because now the low E windows that are going in homes, these newer homes, the low E coating that they have is already blocking a lot of the infrared. So the spectrally selective film that's mainly targeting infrared, that's where its heat rejection is coming from, which is more expensive, and I want to sell it to you, but it might not be the right film for your type of glass.
Right.
But you might need to go with something that's a little bit darker, a little bit more reflective, in order to, if heat rejections you're concerned.
Job done.
Yeah. So when we educate them on that, and somebody else comes in and is only trying to push ceramic or spectrally selective, they've now been educated that, like, hey, that's a more expensive thing, and it's not even going to give me the result that I want, because this person took the time to meter the glass and show me what this low E coating's doing. Right. It's like, I'm downselling the product on my end, but I'm educating the customer, and they're probably going to choose me over the guy that's trying to upsell them.
Well, it kills me because, like, I've turned down ceramic coating jobs all the time. Like, hey, you just need wax. Like, you don't need ceramic coating. Like, you just need some wax. You're not keeping the car long. You're just going to sell it, or, it's one of those
customer
things,
for life right there.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like one of those things like, hey, I would love to do my 5+ year coat and paint crap. Dude, you just need a little paint enhancement and you're done. Like, put some stuff on the trim and you're good to go. Like, you don't need no fancy dye for the trim. Just do something quick and then sell the car. Like, I hate to say that, but That's what people do all
No,
day
then
long.
they're going to bring back the next car they buy that they plan on keeping for a long time, and then you'll ceramic coat that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Long-term thinking right there, man.
Yeah, that's realistic where I'm at. Like all my clients, majority of them, I'd say like 95% of them is all referral. Yeah. It's not like, hey, I found you here. No, it's referral, you know. Like I'm starting to get more like, oh, I found you on Google, or I found you here, or, you know. So I'm starting to get that more, but it's been mainly just all referrals. No,
that's everything, man. Referrals is huge. Even with the amount of marketing we do now, we're still like 50, 60% repeat or referral.
Right.
But that allows you then to even be more confident when you do start spending more money on marketing to know that like, all right, if I have half of my customers coming back or referring somebody else, like every dollar I'm spending on marketing is really each one of every 2 people I'm going to get another referral or a repeat from. So really my marketing cost is kind of half of what I think it is long term.
Right.
So,
and it's crazy to me because like I've never even dropped a single dollar on marketing or ads or anything like that. But like I'm busy, you know, like not as busy as I like to be. And that's like I think where the ads would come into play. But it's like one of those things I also try to like give myself extra time because there has been times where I found myself running behind or running late. Or, you know, I show up to a customer's house 2 hours late, you know, but it's one of those things like, hey, I apologize it, but I was trying to get the job right prior. The one prior to you, I was trying to get it right. I had to do required extra work, like wasn't planned, but it's one of those things I would just try to do the right thing. Always.
And then just over communicate with your customers, man. Just like set an expectation where you've got a window of time.
Exactly.
Over communicate with them if you're going to be behind the beginning of that window. And everybody's going to be okay with that.
100%.
And then you got
not everybody, but
mostly
90% of people.
Mostly everybody. Most people. If you're over communicating with them and you're setting the expectation, at that point, you know that's the 1 out of 100 that's just going to be a pain in the ass no matter what. And you know you did everything you could.
And that's usually you know that comes down to that is the one customer where it's like if you end up not doing it, you're like, I wanted to get the work, but at the same time, maybe it's best I didn't do this work because if I was already letting you know, hey, this is the window I'll give you. Obviously, I'm going to try to make the beginning of this window, but it all depends on my previous work. And then you're letting them know as you're getting close to that window, like, hey, it's going to be the later part of that window. And then now all of a sudden they're upset about it. It's like, I already told you to begin with, like, I don't rush my work. I'm going to give your car the exact same respect that I'm giving the previous car to where the same thing could happen to me on your car.
The next car.
And then it's like, I'm taking an extra 2 hours of my day to where it's like, hey, like, my quality means everything to me. And I'm sorry that it's moving your window back and we might have to reschedule it because now it's falling to a part that you were hoping it wasn't going to be in there. But I'm not gonna sacrifice the quality of my work. Like I've told my guys, especially for auto, like I would rather deal with a customer who is upset that they're getting their car back 2 to 3 hours later than they anticipated. As long as we were communicating with them the whole time, this is why it's taking this long. This is what happened. You know, we messed up a back window, messed up a windshield. We had to redo the windshield. A customer, yes, might be a little mad at us to begin with, but also they're going to cool down.
Communication part,
talk with them and they'll cool down and they'll also realize like, hey, you know what? I appreciate it because I'd rather have a customer, unfortunately, I'm wasting their time. I'd rather waste 2 hours of their time on the day they actually took time out to drop the car off with us instead of you rushing through it. And then they get home and the next day they see something in the window. Like, I got to drive back down to you. Like I already took a whole day off the drive to you. Now I got to do it again. Like what, you know, and when that does happen, I go out of my way to like, I'll call the customer. I'll look at where they're at in the valley too. And thankfully we've had to do this like maybe once or twice this year. And they've been in Henderson to where it's like, I call the customer after I find out what's happening. I'll call the customer and say, hey, is it okay? What I can do is I can come by your house. I'll pick up your vehicle. I'll take it down to my shop. I'll get it taken care of and I'll drive it back. You know, you already given us the time that you should have only had to give us. I don't want to waste any more of your time. And thankfully, a lot of those people too, it's like, well, I work from home. That works fine. Or if it's, they go to an office, like I'll drive to your office. I'll pick your vehicle up. I'll drive to my shop. My guys will get it taken care of. I'll drive it back to you. I want to try to save you as much time as I possibly can. Because it's not your fault, unfortunately, that something went wrong. And I want to make sure that we take care of this. And like when they hear that, because I'll have some people, I had someone recently, the guy was washing his car and then he had called in and like mentioned something about getting pricing and then talked about how it was his vehicle, that the back window was just done and there was stuff all in the window. And we ended up finding out like he was washing our customer's car and it was I forget which version of a Mustang, but it was like a limited edition Mustang to where he sent me the photos, and looking at the photos, it's like, yeah, there was some trash in the window. I was like, yeah, that's not acceptable. I called my customer and said, hey man, I see you live right up the street. Let me come get your car and let me get this back window replaced. He's like, dude, honestly, I haven't even looked at it. And if my detailer is telling me that, like, hey, the back window's messed up, and it's like, dude was 100%. First, my ego got kind of in the way. It's like, how the hell are you going to know this? And then he sent me the photos, and I was like, oh no, you're 100% right. Like, there's way too much dirt in this window. I can see it. And there was a couple other things. There was a fiber that was like in the middle, bottom of the window.
That was the worst. You're just like,
And I was like, yeah, this should have been caught out in my shop. I'm sorry about that. Let me come get the vehicle from you though. I'll get it taken care of. I don't want to take any more time out. And he's like, yeah, that's fine, dude. It's my second car. I don't care. And I was like, perfect. Thank you. And he's like, I appreciate it. I'm like, no, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to replace it and take care of it and be okay with the fact that's what we have to do, because it shouldn't have just been a one stop. You come in, it gets taken care of, you leave happy. There's nothing that has to be done past that. But, stuff happens.
Yeah,
Not everything's perfect.
Exactly.
As long as you're always willing to take care of your customer.
Take accountability.
Yep. Oh. That's what matters.
Oh,
that's
exactly.
What matters.
Really quick, by chance, you think I use the restroom?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's it at?
Right behind you.
Right behind you. Perfect.
We're back. So you do have a location?
I have a location, but it's in my garage. My house.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I have the whole entire garage set up for detailing.
Have all the lighting,
every single thing I could possibly think of needing, except dry ice. I need dry ice. But you never heard dry ice?
No.
Nope.
You haven't seen those videos, dude? The videos of it's so cool.
It's next level cleaning.
It's like sandblasting, but with dry ice.
Pretty much. And it's so much safer pretty much on everything. But you're talking like, for a good one, like 10 grand just for the machine. Then you still have to buy the dry ice. So
hold on. So what's the process? What does it do? You load the dry ice, then what?
You clean surfaces without damaging them.
It's like a steamer, but dry ice. There's no chemicals involved, nothing. You blast off rust, dirt,
You've never
grime.
seen those?
No.
There's stains in the seat. Just blast it with dry ice. Everything.
I've watched it on YouTube Shorts quite a few times.
Oh,
it's crazy the cleaning that it does, man.
It's phenomenal. He's like, dry ice. I got this one. No, but no,
might actually work for. Does it mess with? Will it take paint off?
Oh, it'll take anything off.
Yeah.
It's so you gotta do
I was thinking about wrap removal. Like, man,
it might be good for that, but it might take the paint off. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't looked in too much about it.
It'll probably take the paint off.
Yeah, if there's any chips, if there's chips, 100%.
Yeah.
No, I've never heard of that before.
Oh, dude, it's so sick. Like for me, like I love getting in, like I like going crazy, like your average guy just boom, boom, boom. No, like let me get into the pores, let me get in the cracks, crevices, let me move your seat up all the way, but like where you don't even know that it's dirty down there, like make sure everything's all clean. Like I'm just very particular, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I've been working with a lot of like other detailers, I guess you could say, locally, and everyone's telling me like stop being so picky. Like we're in the business and like, yes, I understand that, but it's one of those things where it's when you take pride in what you do and like you actually love what you do.
Yep.
It's one of those things like, no, I'll read like for you, I'll redo this window 7 times if there's a couple specks in the dirt every single time. Like if I have to do it, I'll keep doing it until it's like good. Like if there's like 10 pieces of spec and there's one like 1999 Ford F-150 with the rubber gaskets, like I'm gonna get a lot of dirt in it, but let me get it the best I can. Might have redone it a couple times, but I'm gonna make sure it's as good as I can.
That's how I am. I get a lot of. That's why I don't install very much anymore. I'm just on sales, but like it's gonna come out perfect. It's just not gonna be very fast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's where I'm at. I'm like, do you want like your quickest job or the job that could be done at the best it can, depending on your vehicle?
Yeah.
I think I just did this actually truck. It was a, I think 23 Silverado. It had pinstriping. Well, GM put it on like 3 miles. Like the truck got painted, 3 miles got put on it, and then they put pinstripes on it. Well, this pinstripe completely etched the paint. And I've actually never really seen this in person. I've seen it online and everything, but like the paint actually started bubbling. It's called solvent pop.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking into it heavy because I was like, what in the world? I turned around and sanded this down for hours. And then like at some point, because I was told like by like one of my mentors, he was like, hey, you can sand it down, but depending on how far that solvent pop is, it might go down all the way to the primer. And I'm like, dude, that's not cool. Like you're telling me the paint job's completely toasted all the way down to the side of the truck on both sides, and then like I started sanding it down. And then sure enough, as soon as like there was one point where the bubble actually came off, it was just straight down to the primer, all of them. So it was one of those things, like I sent them videos. I was like, hey, this is what we're looking at. It's much better, but you still got the bubbles, you know. But it's one of those things, like we made it so shiny to where he just texted me. It was like a month ago, you know, like he just texted me last week. So like the 3-week gap of him getting his truck done, he was like, dude, I'm still in awe. I still go out into my garage and look at my truck every night. Like, dude, this thing is phenomenal.
That's awesome.
So it's one of those things. Yeah, he loves it. So like
pride in your work, man.
Yeah, as long as the client's happy, that's all that matters to me. But it's like one of those things, like I set those expectations before I even charged him, before I even did anything to his truck. I was like, hey, this is what I was told. I have never done this. Like I've never pulled bubbles out of a paint job. Like, you know, that's weird. But I was like, I've never done this, but like, this is what I was told. These are the possible results. Either they're all going to be gone, some of them are going to be gone, or it's just going to look better, you know. But if you're okay with that, let's proceed and then continue the job, you know. And then we did it, and it did look better. There's still, they were there, nowhere near as noticeable though. So that was a cool thing, you know.
Is that pretty much caused from the outgassing of the paint and then putting vinyl on too quickly? Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
sense.
like it's one of those things, like there's a lot of these shops that are wrapping, like let's say a car that was wrapped gets into a car accident and then it goes to the body shop.
Yep.
Well, they're like, oh, well, I need it wrapped immediately. Well,
nope.
If you plan on selling that car as soon as you're done, like in the next couple of years, sell it with the wrap, because before that wrap goes bad, the minute you pull that wrap off that car, all that paint's probably going to come with it, or it's going to be extremely bubbled underneath. One of the two.
100%.
You know? But it just kills me because there's like so much technical things with detailing, tint, paint in general. It's one of those things, like there's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things. You know, like I just had a client, he wanted to ceramic coat his, it's like a 2006 F-150, but it's a full brand new paint job, all this stuff. Well, I told him, I was like, you got like this mirror cap that got repainted by the body, because like it was like a 2-month thing, and then like I guess the mirror cap was bad and like a pillar was bad, so they redid that. So those two parts were brand new, and then the rest of the truck was been like a month and a half of fresh paint, you know. And he was like, well, let's like protect them. Like, well, we can't because you got brand new paint, you know. And it was like one of those moments where I had to educate him, and he was like, oh, okay, that makes more sense, you know. But it's one of those things you want to avoid putting anything really on new paint. Like just wash it with like regular soap, just no additives, no nothing, just regular soap, no sprays, just boom, done, you know.
Yeah, no, we run into that with paint protection and obviously car wraps too.
Yep.
Where
Paint protection is a trip.
It's pain.
Yeah,
well,
it's a pain.
Pain to a point. It's out of all the things that we do in our industry, that is the one thing where I've talked to a couple different guys that own shops and that doing it at a high level, competing in like competition, like winning competitions.
Yeah.
Like competitions, like how long does it take you to train? Yeah. How long does it take you to train someone? They're like, to be on their own front end by themselves, solid without no worry, 2 years.
Easily.
And it's like, first I was like, damn, it's a long time. But after like getting into it, cause like I was trained on the fact that like my dad bought a roll and he's like, all right, put it on the hood. I'm like, okay. And he's like, yeah, you just squeegee it on. I'm like, I don't think that's it. Yeah. And especially with the early paint protection films, like Solar Guard, their clear shield, the original clear shield, that shit was like cardboard. You had to use a steamer to loosen it up to even stretch it. Like, and it was pretty much on the job training when I learned how to do it.
Yeah.
And then as the material's gotten better and better, it's like I was happy to have the experience with the old material, because now I use the new material. I'm just like, this stuff is so nice. And it's like the biggest thing is getting your slip solution dialed in. Yeah. As soon as you get your slip dialed in, and then like for me, like I was always heavy on using alcohol to tack. And then it got to the point where it's like, yeah, you can, but if you use too much, you're going to burn the glue, and you have one shot deal at this. Like you try to pop it off and reset it, it's going to slip, and you might get it to reset, or you might just damage the glue beyond repair, and the fact that it's not going to catch no more. But it's one of those things, like for the one body shop we do a lot of work for, like he already knows the deal. It's like, all right, how long has it been painted, dude? Like I need 30 days.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like at certain times he's like, hey, dude, it's got to get done now. And I'm like, all right. You know the risk it's running. And I think once or twice we've had to reset something. And it's, of course, as soon as we go to reset, pop, paint. I'm like, so you can come pick up the car. It needs to be repainted. Yeah. So it's like, I told you. And like even when I have customers come in, I had a customer come in with an old school truck. And I was like, when did it get painted? And he was like, oh yeah, 30 days. And he wasn't telling me the truth. And then I had to reset a piece on it, ripped paint off. And he was like, oh, and he ended up telling me that like it just been painted. He's like, dude, I literally told you like this would be the case. And it's like he didn't fight me on it. You know, he went and got it fixed, and we eventually ended up doing it.
Yeah.
And then the only other time that I saw something really wonky was I had a guy did his entire Raptor. He had a black Raptor, brand new truck, and he wanted the whole thing done. It was like the first time, or that was the second truck. First one was an F250, first time him buying a diesel. And he's like, dude, I'm keeping this truck until it doesn't work no more. I want everything done. I was like, okay. It was like the first full vehicle I did too. It's in 2012. And we did it, and then he got a Raptor, and then he had his uncle paint all the flares and everything like the week I was doing it. And I was like, dude, this is going to run a risk. And he's like, I'm fine with it. And he came back for me to do some, he's doing his 30-day follow-up. He came back, and on his front bumper, because of the stretch on that bumper, where there was relief cuts, like you could see the paint was completely rippled by all the tension pulled onto the paint itself. And he's like, is there anything? Like, I was like, I'll see what I can do. And like, I went to go try to do some of the touch up. And as I was trying to do it, I was trying to pull a piece off, and like instantly, like, I already tell him, like, I was like, dude, we got to leave this. I was like, if I pull this, it's ripping all your paint off. And he was like, all right, leave it. I understand. And he's like, I knew the risk I was going to take. And I was like, I told you. And it's like, that's the first time I've seen paint have full rippling just from the tension that was set on the rod itself. And I was just like, and I warn every single customer, it's like, you have to wait 30 days.
Yep. Minimal.
I have to. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's some body shops that's like 3 months, you know. Yep. It depends on the paint and the curing process, everything, you know.
Yeah, which I've been recently, we just did some work for another shop that's I think a couple blocks away from us. And that was like, he brought the car over. It was a Tesla. And we ended up doing, I think, a hood and a bumper. And I was like, when was it painted? He's like, last week. And I was like, dude. And he's like, we have it. I suppose they got machines now that with the painting and the curing process. He goes, nope, you're good. With our machine and the paint that we use, it's fine. I said, all right. Didn't have any issues with it. I think we've done like one other job for him. And I know that he's now that shop is a certified Tesla. I know they're waiting for their certs on. They're going to be a Jaguar, Land Rover. Like those are the certs they're going after. And they're like, the paint we use, he's like, we had that problem. We switched our product completely to where this is the product we use now. And a week cure time is all we need. And I was like,
that's interesting.
It's on you, man.
It's very interesting.
As long as how that goes long term.
Yeah.
My hands are wiped clean of it. It is noted.
My part of the job is done.
Yep. So it's one of those things where they sign off on it, and as long as they're willing to sign off on it, if anything happens, I'm pointing straight to them. Like, you go to them. Like, you're not my customer. They're my customer. Yes, I worked on your vehicle, but they told me it was good. You got to go talk to them. And if it's something they got to repaint, and for me to redo it and pass that, it's on them.
Yeah.
So how long you been doing ceramic coat?
I'd say about 2019, around there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever go over the top of PPF?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I actually recommend it because PPF fails.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that's like the one thing that that's like almost the only reason I haven't got into it is because like it's hard for, like, even ceramic coating fails, wax fails, everything fails to a point. But it's with the wraps, like, you know, you got to pull that off still, you know. So it turns into like, hey, if you don't pull it off at a certain point, then, you know. But with your ceramic coatings, apparently they make these formulated for wraps and for PPF, you know, to give it more hydration and make it last longer. But it's like one of those things, like, you still have to maintain it after, you know, like, if it has hydrophobic properties, that's just hydrophobic properties. There's no protection still, you know. You still want to put additives on it. You still want to clean it. You still want to clay it, you know. And like, depending on the PPF, like, if you upkeep it, you don't even need to clay it. But it's one of those things, like, if you ever take care of your car, you're going to have to pull the contamination out of the actual PPF to make sure it doesn't, like, fail, I guess you could say, you know, because it just speeds up the process. All that contamination buildup just speeds up the process of failing, you know. I just had a 23 Tacoma, and the paint was already failing. And I was like, hey, like,
that's crazy.
You need to buff this. And he's like, well, I take it to the car wash every week. And well, yeah, but, you know, it's depending on the car wash. I didn't ask because I mean, just automatic car washes in general are not good for your vehicle. But it was one of those things I was like, why, you know? But it was one of those things I told him, I was like, hey, some of these car wash places use acid in their washes. So like they spray acid, spray it off, and then but like sometimes it doesn't spray it off fully, gets left behind, stains the paint, and it turns into a whole nightmare of just, hey, I just ruined my vehicle with a $5 car wash.
Yeah, cheap now is expensive later. It's with everything, man.
Exactly.
It's with everything.
Yeah. Like, there's been a few times where I turn around and tell people like, hey, we can go wax, but if you want to make sure that fully lasts, recommended every 3 months, every season, every season, do another wax. You do the math of that, it's almost equivalent to a coating, So it's like, do you rather just go coating and maintain it every year? And then if you like actually wash it and maintain it really good, you don't even need to maintain it at all. Like it's just always clean, But if you just like, whatever about the maintenance, it's like, I recommend like a yearly maintenance. Our heat out here is brutal.
Yep.
Even like the tint. I seen a car recently, he bought a vehicle and it had a back window sticker on it. And he said the tint was apparently a year old, but the sticker itself like etched itself into the tint. So it's like the guy took the sticker off, but the sticker's still inside the tint itself.
Yep.
It's like, wait a second, but it like baked itself in. I'm not really sure how that happened, but I was like, I didn't even know what brand tint it was either. That's another problem.
I say that was good.
Yeah, dealerships typically are just, they don't care.
Yeah, it's just
when the dealerships are installing, they're just literally how much profit can we make on this?
Exactly.
We're not in business to tint. That's just an extra line
like
on the profit. Well, that's like what I try to tell
people. Yep, all the time. Because like I had this guy, he was like, well, I just paid $3,000 for my ceramic coating. And I was like, your car is not ceramic coated. I hate to tell you that, but it's not. They're like, well, I just bought it. And it was the dealership that did. I was like, oh, well, there's your answer. You got to spray on ceramic coating because like I know the guys that do the coatings for the dealerships, they use a spray like in a bottle, like just a spray bottle. It's a spray sealant and it has the word ceramic on it. So the detailer gets like $500 on it, and then the dealership makes $3,000 to $5,000 to $7,000 on them.
They're so bad with tint too. SUVs. I actually worked at Lexus of Las Vegas for like 4 or 5 months, and they were buying cheap crap film, and the installer would get paid flag hours. So you'd make an hour and a half to do the front 2 doors on an SUV.
Mm-hmm. Done in 20 minutes.
Yeah, and they were letting me do as many of them I want on the lot. So I'd always start my day with I'd do like 5 or 6 RXs front doors, and I was hand cutting, so I'd cut all the patterns off of one, stick them off.
Like 30 minutes.
But it's like an hour. I'm getting an hour and a half for these, and then you go out and you look online what the line item is, and it's vehicle window tint, like $700. They're charging the customer as if they tinted the whole vehicle, but all I tinted was the front doors. The back already came from the factory.
I don't know how many times I've had.
They do that all the time. So when I go buy cars, I'm looking at that. Like actually, I think my wife's Sienna, they had the sticker on there for a full vehicle tint, and I'm like,
tint on the back. That's factory.
That's coming off, there. Guys. Like, I'm not paying that. Like, you can just take that off now because I know these back windows aren't tinted, and honestly, I don't even want what you put on the front doors. And they'll remove it.
They will. Yeah,
but they know most people aren't looking for it.
Exactly.
Oh, the worst part is when you get the protection one where it's door cups and edge guards and they charge you $1,000 for it. I'm like, holy absolutely hell. Terrible. Well, just even if it looked beautiful, that's like
ridiculous.
$40 in material, maybe. And that's probably scrap coming off the roll. And then even seen some of the paint. Like we had one of my sister's friends. We just did her Range Rover, and they told her car was tinted. I looked at it, and it's like, I didn't even have tint on the front doors. And I was like, no, it's not. And then they told her that the whole front end had paint protection on it. And I looked at it, I'm like, no, it doesn't. So I'm not sure what they were trying to explain to you, but you need to go back. And we've had that happen numerous times. Customers will come in, and they're like, oh, yeah, they said they tinted the whole car. And we're looking at the car like, no, your car doesn't have any tint on it. It's like a 4-door sedan. And it's like, it doesn't have any. They charged me $500. I'm like, go back there, go get your money. Because they didn't charge you. Like, they didn't put anything on there. They charge you for nothing. Yeah.
It's crazy how crooked people can be.
And then also the quality of it too. It's like, I know Jordan just recently purchased a vehicle, and he already knew, like, he already went in and told him, was like, yeah, I'm not paying for the tint. Like, I'm not paying for the tint. I'm not paying for, like, you guys can take all this off. I can do this myself. I can get this done at my work. Like, I can do the clear bar myself. And they're like, oh, we took it off for you. It's like, yeah. Because it's either you can take it off, like, we'll just leave it on, because you don't want to take it off because now you got to pay for it again. Yeah, exactly. And now so you try and make it seem like you get me some kind of deal.
Like I bought a truck in 2012 out of Goodyear, Arizona. And when I was already negotiating over the phone, like they pulled the tint off. I told them like, if it's got tint on it, I'm not paying for it. Like I just what I do for a living. And like, oh no, we'll just leave it on there. We'll throw it in for you. I'm like, throw it in. Like I didn't want it, but okay. I get down there and like I see the sticker in the window, $4.99. And then I get in the truck. We're going for the test drive. I roll down all the windows on purpose. And like I'm looking at the back doors. And I'm like, you guys get away with this. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you guys only tint the front doors. He's like, no, the whole car's tinted. I'm like, dude, I do this for a living. You only tinted the front 2 doors. And then he instantly kind of changed the subject. And like after saying like, oh, you're not paying for it. It's like, oh, I know I'm not. And it's like, I just like, how do you guys okay with doing this? Like it pisses me off because then it makes my industry look bad when it's just the manufacturers trying to pull the wool over someone's eyes. Like even the coating thing, I've seen that numerous times where we'll ask the customer, hey, is your car ceramic coat? Oh yeah, the dealer did. Dealership did. Like, all right, bring it in. We're going to test it and see if we can actually get if the bra will stick to it.
Yeah.
And they come in and my installer, like he'll start working on the car. He goes, there's a coating on this. Yeah. And then they'll bring the sticker and same thing. It looks like he goes, yeah, it's a ceramic spray. I didn't do nothing. How much did you pay for that?
Yeah.
$2,000, $3,000? Like what? And
but people don't know any better, and that's the crappy part, you know.
That's
like, hopefully a clip of this will go viral and people wake up a little.
No. Yeah, that's the unfortunate part. It's like even when they do the clear bra too, Dodge is notorious for this. I forget which Dodge it is. It might be Tobin. I don't know if it is or isn't. But we've got numerous Dodges, like Dodge trucks, when they come in, like I'm looking at the clear bra and it's a 1/2 inch short all the way around. Because I know what the installer did. He took a pattern, he stuck it from the middle, and he just squeegeed it out.
Yep.
And just slightly stretched it. Yeah. And then got to that edge and realized like, oh shit, like well, it's on. It's like, well, yeah, you gotta tack one point, actually stretch it across, then squeegee it out so it's actually stretched onto the vehicle.
Right.
And it's just like every time we get one of those, we usually will get content of it before, after. Like, see this 1/2 inch gap? Now you don't see any gap because it's rolled on the edge and we don't want it to be visible. We actually want to protect all your paint.
Exactly.
And it's even funnier when you see one of those and you see a chip right on that 1/2 inch. And it's like,
Yeah, that's exactly what we were trying to protect against.
Yep.
Yeah. That's usually how it works, though. Even with the windshield film that's coming out, everybody's all crazy about it. But I'm like, my biggest thing is like, if you're not going to the very, very edge, that chip is going to happen right on that edge where you didn't protect, and you're still going to break the whole windshield. And then your customer is going to be extremely mad at you.
Yep.
That's a good thing with the new products that are coming out, though. You can go all the way to the edge because it's more like PPF.
Yep. Exactly.
So. But the big thing is with those is setting the expectation. Is letting them know like, hey, I have to have an 1/8 inch all the way around this because I don't want this to start curling off. Like we're going to get it right there. So if you are that unlucky where if you do have a windshield that's got that exposed edge, especially if it's at the top of the window, it's like we are going to get it as far as we possibly can. And then if you are that unlucky, that could be like it's a 1% chance, but just letting you know this that 1% chance does exist. This is going to be for anything that's landing within, that 1 inch parameter around or hitting the middle of your window. But that's definitely setting the expectation for your customer because those windshields are not cheap anymore.
No,
not at all.
No, it's crazy to me because I actually used to be replacing a lot of windshields. So like if you use cold water in the middle of a very, very, very hot day on a hot piece of glass with a big old chip in it. Oh yeah, every single time. So it kills me to say this, but I've probably broken maybe like 10, 11 windshields. And it's funny because I always ask detailers, I'm like, hey, you ever break a windshield? And like some guys will be like, oh yeah, I've done that a couple times. Or, oh no, I've never done that. You're lying. Yeah, you're lying. There's no way in hell you didn't. And it blows my mind. But like there was at one point where I was just replacing all these for people. And like, I was like, I'm replacing these $100 pieces of glass, like $300, $400, $500. Like I think the most expensive one I did, I think it was like a $700 windshield just because she wanted her little Jeep logo. And I was like, but it was like one of those things I was like, I just got to bite the bullet.
And all these ones with the sensors in them, they're like $1,500, $2,000.
And you got to calibrate them and all that good stuff.
Well, depending on the vehicle, what are they getting to?
Most expensive ones I've ran across was Kia Telluride. OEM glass was $3,400.
Oh, that is insane. I know a Porsche, I think it's a Target back windows like 10 grand.
Yeah, those things are
it's ridiculous.
Yeah. So,
like with that, my bad. Just with the whole breaking glass thing, like I turned around, and made terms and conditions because I was like, hey, you know what? Like this is the thing. Like, and then even like I still inspect windshields. I'm like, hey, there's a chance of this. Like, there's been multiple times where it kind of like not screws me out of time, but it screws me out of time and my customer out of time. Like, hey, I have to come back either tomorrow morning or later tonight to wash your car because I do not want to break your windshield. Like, what do you think it's going to actually happen? I'm like, 50-50 chance. It either is or it isn't.
Yep.
You know, I have no idea. I don't know how deep this actually goes and if it's actually going to spread or not. You've never gotten it fixed, so I really don't know if it's going to break or not.
That's what we do with windshields. You know? We have it happen all the time with windshield installs where if we find a rock chip, we let them know, like, hey, you need to get this repaired. Exactly. And sometimes they go get it repaired and bring it back later.
And it sucks because you lose that like little bit of work that day, but it's better than buying a windshield or having a customer mad at you for breaking their windshield, you know?
100%.
So.
Oh, yeah. No, we ran into that. The only reason why I know that Telluride that expensive is we had one where I'm just going to chalk it up to, it was an oversight by my guys, obviously. And it's like, they took the before photos, which when it got brought to my attention, like I went to the before photos and I'm looking at the before photo, not even zooming in. I'm like, yeah, there's a rock chip right there. Mm-hmm. I can see it on my little screen. Like that thing's gigantic. It reflects perfectly. Yeah, that thing's gigantic. I can see it right there where they pulled it in the back, they shrank the window. And as they were actually tucking the soak rope into the bottom of the windshield, right about to go prep it, it was towards the bottom of the windshield, just then putting pressure on the window, popped. And I was like, all right, new protocol. If this is like, because this is something that we all know, if you are not inspecting your glass and there is something where I can look at a photo and I can see it plain as day and you didn't bring it to the customer's attention and because you should have called the customer, told them about it. And if they choose not to get it repaired and they just say, screw it, just go along with it, I'll take my chances, we're free and clear. Yeah. If you don't even give them that option and then you just go ahead with an install and it breaks, this will be the last windshield I pay for. The next one you guys are paying for. Yep. So inspect your window. It's not going to get chalked up to as an oversight. If it is something so teeny in an area that is just can't be seen, then yeah, it is, you know, I'm always going to have my installers back. But if it's big enough where I can see it on a damn before photo before the car even gets pulled in, I don't know how you're going to look at that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But it's definitely always set and setting of letting people know what can happen. And like I always tell people, if it's 6 months old, I've been told by glass guys that if it hasn't ran yet, you're probably not going to run, but the possibility is always still there. Mm-hmm. So if you want to just go for it, we'll do it. If not, and which now more often than not, we're telling people like, get it fixed. Like that windshield's probably $1,000. Yep. You don't need to pay for it. Don't pay me $500 to tint it.
I was about to say, don't pay $500 for a windshield tint and then have something happen, you know?
Because now you're paying for the windshield and I got to retint it.
Yeah. You know? I feel bad for the people. I mean, I've actually had this happen to my personal windshield too. So like, it's not just other people, but when you go get your windshield tinted and then you're driving on the freeway all happy,
bam,
and you're like, oh, dude, no way. That's just like a brand new windshield, brand new tint.
My work van, my work van right now has one in it that we need to fix actually, but I've been rolling with it for a couple months.
Hey, AGR windshields. No.
I already know it has a sensor. It's probably going to be
expensive.
But we can put the protection on it this time.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can now. Yeah. Is what it is. But
well, where can people find you, man?
Anywhere. I'm all around town.
Like online.
Where can online? www.tothetdetailing.com and then on Instagram to the T Detailing. Pretty much just anything to the T Detailing. I actually just made a TikTok too, but that one's to the T Detailing LV. Okay. So there was somebody in I think Florida or something that took to the T.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, like so essentially, back to that. Like when I did the name back in 2019, there was nobody with To the T. There's been like 3 or 4 To the T's that's popped up. They've all went out of business, and there's like a couple other ones that are still around. And I'm like, like did one of my videos that went viral back in the day like inspire you or something? Like, you know, makes you think a little bit, but it's all right. It happens. Yeah. So.
All right, well, man, we appreciate you stopping in.
I appreciate you guys for having me.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Man.
It was a pleasure.
Definitely be looking to say we can do this in a couple months. Do this again.
Yeah.
See where you got into.
Let's go. Hope I have an employee by then. No, I've hired 7 employees, and then they've all I've only had 2 quit. And the rest got fired. So I'm picky though, but you know,
it's
don't change your standard, man.
Yeah,
I'll say
everybody tries to tell me to lower my standards. I'm never gonna have a good employee and Like, but if I find somebody that's like looking for somebody actually, but if I can find somebody that actually has that motivation and like dedication to cars, like they're not doing it to make money. Like that's my biggest thing I run into is like everybody wants to get into this for money. Oh, the money's good. Sure, it's good, but Are you willing to work 12 hours a day for 7 days a week? Because that's
how you get good
money's at, you know. But it's a lot of work. But I try to tell people it's just the same thing over and over and over again, you know.
Yeah.
But it's just different surfaces, different vehicles, different body lines, like, you know. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'll definitely be getting in touch because we do get asked quite often about ceramic coating. It's one thing we don't do. We do the paint protection.
let me do them for you. Let's do it.
I'll be giving you a comment.
Yeah, we'll definitely continue this conversation. And anybody out there that's looking for a career and you're tedious and have attention to detail, hit my man up.
Yes, sir. To the T detailing.
All right, guys, you know how it works. Follow along, subscribe. We appreciate it. Until next time, man. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Have a good one, guys.